Good afternoon, all the dearest teacher here. We would like to share with the food waste video. Go ahead with the video.
Did you know there is enough food in the world to feed everyone? The problem is, 1/3 of all food produced globally goes to waste. That's 931 million tonnes. At the same time, 1 in 9 people go hungry. Instead of feeding people, food waste feeds climate change. Because when food ends up in landfill, it produces methane, a toxic greenhouse gas which damages the environment. In fact, wasting food wastes everything, all of the precious resources it takes to produce it, like water, land, energy, and money. Did you know that throwing away one hamburger wastes the same amount of water as 15 bathtubs? Sadly, food is wasted at every stage of the supply chain. On farms and during the manufacturing process, when food is transported, at the supermarket, in restaurants, and from our homes. In Australia, over 7.6 million tonnes of food gets wasted every year. That's enough to fill an average footy stadium to the brim 10 times, which costs our economy $36.6 billion, with the majority coming from our homes. But there's good news. Food waste at home is mostly avoidable. OzHarvest did some research to find out the best way to tackle this problem, and it turns out to be nice and easy. Simply use it up. That's right. Look at what you already have that needs to be used before buying more. And then make sure you use it up so nothing goes to waste. It's just about getting into good habits, and you can start today. Save food, save money, save the planet.
Okay, thank you very much for showing the video. I would like to share you with the materials that we've been preparing. These are three examples, three models that we are preparing. When you want to integrate sets in your classroom, uh, we could start with model 6, Food Heroes. Okay, next slide, please. This material is free for you to use. The subject that you could implement is science or citizen. Next slide, please. And then this is how this module, there are 16 modules that you can choose, but we're going to show you only 3 models, okay? Next slide, please. For these food hero modules, it explains steps in terms of knowledge and virtue, and then it do them the 3 principles, and that how would affect the economy, environment, society, and culture. Next slide, please. Uh, by doing these modules, what is the SDG goals that it's going to touch? It turned out to be that there will be at least 13 out of 17 SDG goals that it could related to by using only this one module. Next slide, please. After the student practicing or using these modules, okay, all the set 4 dimension, like economy, environment, society, and culture. I would like to read only the environment. Uh, if they practicing the food waste for environment, what is the benefits? It reduce greenhouse gas emission. It's conserve our precious resources. It's protecting biodiversity and habitat. It minimizing pollution and waste, and it promote sustainable food system. Okay, this is only one dimension, but it's actually touch all 4 dimensions. Next slide, please. So when you plan to do this module, you can have 2 classes or 3 classes, okay? And at the end, hopefully, the student will reduce food waste and they eat more sustainably. Next slide, please. The materials that we preparing for you is we have 6 different worksheets. Okay, so you can download and use worksheet. Okay, next slide, please. For as a teacher, what do I have to prepare before I using this model? It's really simple. You can do it online or you can do it offline by printing some materials beforehand. For example, like Food Hero worksheet, they have a poster, they have a self-assessment. Okay, it's all available for you, and also the Food Hero certificate. Next slide, please. As a non-native speaker, sometimes we when we introduce new idea to students, we also providing their key vocabularies. So this model will be food waste, global goals, responsible consumption, and sustainability. Next slide, please. Uh, we that I already tell you that there will be 6 learning activities. For this learning activity, okay, I would like to show you by using uh, Padlet, right? I can't remember. Can you post on what is the tools that we're going to use? Okay, could you please click on the poll everywhere here and put what do you have for dinner last night? Okay, all the teacher, please click on the link that Celine just post, and then you will be get into poll everywhere. What we ask is, what do you have for dinner last night? You can have rice with curry. Wow, you have some crab. I want to have some too. Somebody have watermelon. You have pad thai. Pad thai sounds good. Hmm? Papaya, fried papaya. Really? That somebody have chicken, somebody have noodles, somebody have some soup, papaya salad. Last night I have papaya salad actually. ส้มตำค่ะ Somebody have some soup. That is really good. Uh, the way we showing you here is that you could conduct this kind of thing with your student using poll everywhere. And when you introduce the idea to your student, you can ask what do they have for their dinner last night. Okay. Uh, Everybody can still putting poll everywhere here. That would be okay. And then I would like to go at the end. We can capture this and post it on our Facebook. Okay, so you can actually grab the result from the class. And then for the second activity that you can do in this module is that you print out the SDG 17 goals, and then you put student in pair, we uh, pair and think pair share. Okay, so you have 2 students pairing, and then ask them to describe about the SDG goal to their friends, and then vice versa. That means 2 students, some might select the SDG four. His pair probably would like to talk about SDGs 13 or something like that, climate action. Okay, and then we allow students to do it for 5 minutes, explaining each other about the SDG goals that they know, and then we will ask them uh, if we reduce amount of food waste, what would they expect in 2030 to 2030? Okay, in the year 2030, what would happen? Okay, ask them so they can put that in their mind and think some more. Next slide, please. And then we go next slides. And then we will move to activity 3. From activity 3, next slide, please. There's a poster, okay? In the poster, you ask them who grow our food, where did it grow, how it packed. Some of them have many plastic layer. Some of them even wax before put in a plastic bag and then put in a some box and then ship it to you, okay? And then you have You have to have your student asking, how far did my food travel to get to me? If I want to have a hamburger, my beef, I mean my burger might come from Argentina or maybe Australia, right? That would be too far, right? We should buy food that locally grown, okay, to reduce amount of CO2 that we release to the atmosphere, okay. And then you can have your student ask, how much food am I wasting? Okay, did you finish your plate, or you eat half of the plate, or what should I do? Something that we don't want to on our plate when we go to the restaurant. Maybe we could tell the restaurant that, sorry, I don't really like garlic. Would you mind to not put garlic on my food or something, or spring onions, for example. And then the last question is, am I making healthy choices? Okay, instead of having a hamburger, I might have to order tuna salad, for example. And after you doing this with your student, and then at the end of talking or discussion, you can ask your student like, what can I do differently? Okay, this is the teacher just sit back, kick back, and relax and observe what the student come up with, what they can do differently. Okay, next slide, please. And then this is a fun part. The student can do self-assessment, okay, to see if they are doing some impact to the global issue. Okay, next slide, please. Could you please put the self-assessment uh, on the on, on the box here? Uh, Teacher, could you please click on the Google Form link that Celine just posted? And then could you please do self-assessment for us as if you were a student, okay? For the teacher, they could not upload the lesson plan. Could our team help them with their lesson plan storage issue? Okay. Okay. Now we're going to click on the form to see, can you share the result of the form? Thank you. Right now we got 4 responses. We will wait for like 2 more minutes. Could you please providing some response by clicking on that link? Okay, more number coming. Basically, there are 5 questions on the self-assessment. Okay, and then you have to rate 0 or 1 or 2 on the question, and then any of the teacher have some problem with accessing this link? Right now we got 7 responses. It is easy. Just click link, okay, and then it will take you through the Google form. And then by reading that question, you click 0, 1 or 2, okay, and the number at the end they will automatically sum it up. Okay. Thank you for helping uh, at least im- trying to become a student. Thank you. Right now we got 9 responses. Okay. Basically, when you do this with your, I mean, I just do a role play here that you become a student, and then you can ask your student to do this kind of thing. The student do self-assessment before you teach, okay? Before you teaching set concepts, and then see how they respond, and then maybe one semester pass by, and then you ask them to do the response again, and hopefully your student providing with very good responses, and will become a food champion by they will be motivated to reduce food waste, or decided to buy local grown food or something like that. Okay, that is wow, we got 16 responses. Okay, and thank you for answering it so truthfully. Next, okay, we're going to stop sharing the screen on self-assessment. We'll come back later. Okay, this kind of thing you can have your student to do self-check. It's only 5 questions. Next slide, please. This is 5 questions, and the student rating themselves 0, 1, or 2. Okay, and hopefully the school will be around. In the beginning would be 0 to 3, and then by the end of semester, after they're practicing SEP and then SDT, that we will have more like 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, something like that as an average. Okay, next slide, please. And then we can ask them to do brainstorming, okay, talking about how could we do less wasting food, right? Student can do active learning. You enjoy them thinking, analyzing, and come up with perspective on do active role as a citizen. Next slide, please. Uh, and then we will use the learning activity 6.5, which is already available in Google Classroom. You could do it as a flip chart thing, okay, providing big piece of paper for each group. Let's say the group of five students, and then you ask the student talking, asking about the food, what do they eat, and then would they have leftover from the restaurant? What would they do for that food next day or something like that? And then ask them to come up with awesome idea, wonderful idea, creative ideas of how to reduce food waste. Okay, and then each team coming up in the front of the class and then showing their innovative ideas of reducing food waste. Okay, and their flip chart that they've been writing things down, we could post it on the wall for a week. At least it's they can see it unconsciously, and they've been thinking about it even though they're not even taking the class anymore. It helps. Next slide, please. And now we move to the last activity we call activity 6.6. That means we giving certificate to the student. We call certificate, I am a food hero. Uh, Basically, we ask student, okay, what the we will ask student 3 things they promise to do from now on to minimize food waste. Okay, they make agreement with the teacher in the classroom, and then we provide them with certificate. And then if I were you, I will post my certificate from all students in my class on the wall. And then by the end of semester, I will make sure that I will have at least 15 minutes, ask students to stand by their certificate and then ask themselves to mark on which one that they accomplished and which one and they hasn't done it yet for the whole semester. Okay, so you can go around providing hard stickers on the thing that they have done so well. Okay, by doing these 6 activities throughout the whole semester, hopefully we will make some change in their value and in their thinking. Okay, next, I think this is the first module. Okay, now we're going to move to the second module that we're going to show you the example. This module is about I would like Dr. Tintani to do the second module here.
Thank you, Dr. Malika. For the second module is reduce, reuse, and recycle. So I think our participants are familiar with this module. So the last of my session, I would like to asking for you to show and share how to teach your students about reduce, reuse, and recycle. For all of our module related to QPAR model that Dr. Priyanut presented in the previous session. That is question, plan, action, and reflection. The next slide, please. we can implement this module with science, geography, or citizenship, and students about 7 to 12 years old. Next slide. And this is, we use the outcome of this module into the SAFE platform. You can see that the module can the outcome about quality foundation, management principle, and the progress with balance towards sustainable well-being. For the next slide. And this outcome make we reach SDG goal 12, 11, and 15. Next slide. For 4 dimensions of SEP, this module make benefit for economy, environment, society, and culture. For example, for economy is cost saving and resource recovery. For environment, combating land and water pollution. For society, fostering public health and well-being. And for culture, for example, preserving tradition and indigenous knowledge. For the next slide. This is an important one that we should set before set our module. This is learning outcome. For this module, we want our students to reach to understand the need of for waste management, understand about the meaning of reduce, reuse, and recycle, and they can know the difference between reduce, reuse, and recycle. Moreover, document their own idea for using 3R with respect to number of simple objects, and document their own idea for recycle tin can. Next slide. First of all, we should prepare material for this module. We need whiteboard, trash bin filled with trash, for example, scrap paper, tin can, toilet paper roll, for example, and newspaper. Next slide. Lesson preparation for this module. First of all, we fill trash bin with overflowing with trash item and place it in the usual spot. Set our book on recycling the environment in the reading center. And you should prepare the newspaper for next year. The article is about trash bin overflowing. That I show you the example of the news in this slide. For the next slide. Next step, we would like to show the student about the meaning, the definition of 3 vocabulary: reduce, reuse, and recycle. So I would like to show you the first step in the next slide. The step 1. Ask the children what they can do today to keep the news story from coming true, and write their idea on the board. Introduce the concept of 3R, reduce, recycle, and reuse, and let them classify their idea as reduce, recycle, and reuse. I would like to show you in the next slide. This is the definition of reduce, reuse, and recycle that we should show our students. And next, step 2. After that, we divide students into small groups, about 2 to 4 students in each group. And then in next slide, we have each group take a few items out the garbage can and move to their own area. Have them jot down some point about how they might use 3R on the item that have chosen. And after that, let your student write in the worksheet about reduce, reuse, and recycle, about the garbage that they choose. And then in the next slide, we bring our students return to the large group. Have the children share one of their ideas by write them down on the board. This is the step that students can brainstorming and show and share their idea together. And next, step 3, we place the tin can on the central location in the class. and have the children individually propose idea for recycling the tin on the paper. We have the second worksheet for them. Have the children write the right direction, recycling the can, and add diagram or artwork if they like on tin can recycling worksheet. Next. And this is important one. This is the step that uh, our students should be reflection. As Dr. Priyanut showed the step of reflection for SEP, we should add some question, SEP's based activity. For example, what are we attempt to do? What will be the result if we do this? Or are you ready to do this? Or simple something like that. That in the PowerPoint of Dr. Priyanut in the previous session. Okay, next slide. And after that, we should evaluate our students that they clearly understand reduce, reuse, recycle, and can classify them or not. This is just the one example how to teach about reduce, reuse, and recycle. For next step, I would like to ask all of you show and share how to you teach your student or what is your learning activity in your school about reduce, reuse, and recycle. This is the on the slideshow. This from morning session, and from Walayalak University is the one of slideshow. I will show you the left hand side one is from Walayalak University that we choose the path of a global citizen course. This is general education of Walayalak University course. In the step to teach students, first of all, the introduction of to environmental issue and explanation the garbage bank concept. And after that, we have interaction about discussion and activity, and hand-on sorting and recycling. We have field trip, and we have guest speaker that have experience about garbage bank concept. And we have assigned student project-based learning, and we have community engagement and outreach, evaluate and reflection and celebration and recognition. This is the example from Walayalak University that we have learning activity with our students. And the other box is the sample from the morning session. Please, I would like to ask you to click the Padlet link that's in the message, and you can type, you can add the picture of learning activity about 3R in your school. We will take about 3 minutes in this activity.
Okay, so we're giving you some minutes to do this activity. And please click the link of the Padlet that is posted in our group chat.
Just an announcement for our participants coming from the Philippines. I believe the very reason why you cannot access the classroom or you cannot go into the Google Classroom is because of the domain that you are using right now. The email domain that you're using is at diped.gov.ph, which is not recognized by the domain set in the Google Classroom. So if you do have personal email or working email that ends with gmail.com as the domain name, that would be great. Thank you so much.
So we can see some participants typing in on on our Padlet.
Participation, you can type your own case in your school, and you can comment the other school case in the Padlet.
To all the participants who are giving us the email in our group chat, John is now adding you so that you can access all the materials in our Google Classroom. Thank you. Oh, great. I've seen in our Padlet that Marcelo H. Del Pilar National High School has posted their project. Good job.
Okay, thank you so much for your comment in the Padlet and your case study in the Padlet. You can do again after class, this class finish class. Next, we would like to move on to the third module. อาจารย์มริกา
Okay, I think everybody feel like okay, reduce, reuse, recycle is great. No food waste is great. Okay, what else can we do? Can we contribute to the whole world, right? Now we would like to show you the idea of seasonal food wheels. What would the wheels have to do with food, right? When I ask you when would be the best time to have durian, what month would that be? Or what maybe your country might have rambutan, okay? When should we have great rambutans available in the market, not the canned one, right? So this thing is about seasonal food wheel. Next slide, please. You can do this in science class, in citizenship class, in geography class. Okay, next slide, please. After we for the seasonal food wheel, why would it how would that related to SEP, right? Um, the the simple thing is that for the food that we choose to have, the choice that we have, the nutrition I mean, if we eat fruit seasonally, at least the nutrition values, okay, so I would like to say something about reasonableness. Okay, for the reasonableness is that the nutrition value that we would receive when we have it in season, it would be the best, right? It would be great, right? When we talking about the environmental impacts, it will have good environmental impact because it's will not use energy or resources to can it or to put it in frozen or to put it in a storage jar like jam or something like that, right? Next slide, please. For the SDG goal, the main one is the SDG goal number 12, responsible consumption and production. Next slide, please. So after your student doing all these, what 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 would be the benefits of implementing SEP by doing seasonal food wheel? I would like to show you about the environment dimension. Okay, for the environment dimension, your student definitely reduce environmental footprint, enhance ecosystem health and biodiversity. Uh, they will be part of combating climate change and building resilience. And the overall, everybody will have environmental benefits. Okay, you can go ahead and read on the economy, read on society, and read on culture. When we encourage people to do the or buy and eat local food for the culture, how would that have something to do with culture, right? That means we preserve and enriching cultural traditions that we have. We promoting some expression and storytelling. We building resilience and adaptability. uh, you conserve local genetic variation of plants and animals that you cultivated at your own home so that that genetic will not be lost. And the overall, you will help with the cultural enrichment in your local area. Next slide, please. The learning outcome is that student will be able to synthesize information to determine what can be harvested in their region in each season. Next slide, please. The material is quite simple. Okay, you can get the seed package. Okay, from a local store, and then you print out the we call seasonal food view template for your student to color and add picture and then or write things down. Okay, you can do as a group. Okay, it's only two things that you need for doing this class. Next slide, please. For lesson preparation, we providing materials there already. You just have to photocopy seeds package and also some seasonal food wheel. Next slide, please. For the student, for non-native speaker, non-English native speaker here, you can provide some vocabularies for the student to learn during the class. Next slide, please. Okay, first thing first, uh, when you when you introduce the word seasonal food wheels, you can show them this wheel starting from January, February, March, April, May, blah blah until December, and then ask them what is the fruits, what is the vegetable, what is the food that will be available during this month of the year. Okay, sometimes you want to eat some particular fish. Okay, that only come in to your coastal area only in December, and it tastes wonderful. Okay, so we doing that like in Thailand we have patu and some only some month patu have some egg and full with egg and they very that their meat is very oily. It's very tasty. So you just look forward to that particular season. Okay, next slide, please. You engage your student by asking, today we are going to think about different fruits and vegetables that grow each season in your country. And then you ask what's actually in season now. I mean, if you're asking me now, I would say mango. Mango is the time to have great mangoes. I think in Thailand, we probably have like 60, 70 mango varieties. And if you're asking me which one do I like, I probably say I like, what kind of mango do I like? Now I can't remember varieties of mango. Okay, but you can answer for me. Next slide, please. And then you can ask the student to bring seed package. Okay, so we can read at the label at the on the back of the seed package. Okay, next slide, please. And then you can ask them the vegetable that you eat, is it the root, it is the stem, is it leaves, or is it seeds? Okay, so you introduce the biology class here to your student. Some student might not know what would carrot is, the bulb, or this is part of a stem. What is it? What is carrot is about, right? Okay, so you can talk about that and talk to them about uh, the plant parts. Next slide, please. And then you ask them the part that you eat. Is it fruits? Is it stem? Is it roots? Or is it some plant that you plant? They, I mean, the whole plant. You probably can eat it all. Okay. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. เลื่อนอีกหนึ่งสไลด์ได้ไหมคะ I don't see the slide advancing. John, can I have a next slide, please? Okay, we move to we've moved to seasonal food view now. Next slide, please. Yeah. Um, for seasonal food view, you ask your student to come up with material, and then we will could you please click on the Google Slides here? As a country, we providing you with some example on how to do uh, the link that been posted here. Okay, the link that been posted here is a Google Slides learning activity 14.1. Click on that Google Slide link, and then it will bring you to seasonal food wheel. We already create. Could you change from Brunei to the afternoon session, please? Afternoon session start with the Philippines. This slide is for the Philippine teacher. Could you please type it in what fruits and vegetable and food that available in your area start from January up until December. Okay, all the Philippine teacher, could you mind to help each other typing in? And then next slide will be Thailand. Thailand Thai teacher, could you advance the slide so the Thai teacher can see that they have their own slide to put the information in. For Thai teacher, would you mind to go ahead and help each other typing in information here? And then the last slide will be the Timor Leste. For Timor Leste teacher, could you please advance the slide so Timor Leste know that their slide will be ready for them? Don, advance one more slide for Timor Leste. Thank you. For Timor Leste, this one is could you please all helping each other typing in? Okay, we will park our slide at the Philippines slide because I saw that they already typing something in. Move back to the Philippines. I would like to spend 3 minutes to do to complete these seasonal food view activities. But the thing that we show you is one of the ways that you can integrate SEPs in your classroom. You can integrate SEPs as a food hero thing, or reduce, reuse, recycle, or this thing is the seasonal food wheels. There are many more ways of how to integrate SEP in your classroom. And we only show some example of how to do active learning in your classroom for like 20 minutes. But we've covered the whole 3 modules already. If while we waiting for everybody to complete on seasonal food view. You can add. Thank you, the Philippines. The Philippines. You can add photos of the fruits that looks wonderful. Hopefully, Thailand and Timor Leste also doing the same thing. Okay, put the fruits and also adding the photo of the fruit, because sometimes different country name the fruits differently, so they can take a look at what it look like. I never have the fruit that you guys posting in the Philippines. Is it star apple? I never had it. I don't know.
Yeah, we call it balimbing.
It's
Yeah,
delicious.
it is.
I want to taste
Maybe
it now.
we would like our Philippines teacher to, maybe you can type in the local name or the Tagalog name so that we can compare, we can get a comparison of those fruits in different languages if it's available. So it's okay if it's not in the English term, you can use the Tagalog word for that one. Thank you so much. Similar with Thailand and Timor-Leste, how do you name those fruits available in your country, or food that is available in your country? Oh, I'm seeing here the input coming from Thailand. They're still putting um, the names of those fruits.
While you guys doing this, it, I mean, if you have question, could you please type in the chat box? Don and Celine, Tintani and me could try our best to answer some of the questions. Thank you so much. I mean, you guys so lovely. It's beautiful, and also I haven't seen it before. Some of the fruits, amazing. I,
Thank
I will give you guys big hearts here, lots of hearts.
Thank you, John Lee and John Jintari. Um, so the activities that John Lee and John Jintani has given to us is for us to have a concrete understanding and appreciation of how SEP is used in teaching and learning. Actually, we have a lot of modules for this one, but we decided to post 3 modules for your guidance.
So if there are questions or suggestions or clarifications, Dr. Malika and Dr. Jean are ready to answer whatever questions you want related to the modules.
You can also type in the questions that you want to ask our speakers.
Those modules are accessible in our Google Classroom, so you could have you can visit our Google Classroom so that you can download or have a look on those Google Slides that were presented to you. Along with those Google Slides, there are also other activity sheets, like the worksheets sample worksheets that you might be interested and you can use as well as your resources in teaching learning process. So go ahead and check that out for your own reference. If you do have some questions or recommendations to be put into the modules that we created or we provided, you can go ahead also and tell us out by providing your feedback either on our line group or in this chat box, Google chat box. Thank you so much.
I know that you guys enjoy putting fruits and what once it available, it kind of fun. I think meanwhile we would like to spend your time more effectively. Maybe Don can show some of his lesson plan.
Definitely, Ajahn. While everyone is doing some answering on the food wheel, which is a very exciting activity, and I think even us teachers are having fun answering those. I'm pretty sure that when you apply that to your classroom, your students also will be really having fun doing such work, especially if it's a group work and they have to know, oh, what food to be, what fruit is going to be in season for this month. So go ahead and try looking into or try answering. For the meantime, let me go ahead and share to you my screen related to the lesson plan that I have prepared. It's actually my lesson plan that I use in my school here in Thailand. And since I'm a science physics major, so I will be presenting to you a science lesson plan, which is one of the lessons I taught in my class. So let me go ahead and show to you my lesson plan. One moment. By the way, for my lesson plan, it's available in our Google Classroom and it's open for adjustment. Maybe you have some brilliant idea that could help us with making our lesson plan or my lesson plan be a better one. So go ahead and let me know. That would be great. I'm still
Af-
pulling up.
After John showing his lesson plan, we will go back to seasonal food wheel. I think it's getting more elaborate and beautiful. Okay, so we will get back to the food wheel to see the results.
Exactly, Adjourn. We're also discussing here about those activities.
Lesson plan. I'm still pulling up my lesson plan in
So
which
John is preparing for his presentation about the lesson plan.
check to share this one. It's just okay. So this is the lesson plan that I have. This is a lesson plan prepared for English program lower level. This is lesson plan with SEP integration. I am teaching here in Kanlayani. In the name of the school that I'm teaching is Kanlayani Sitamarat School, and I am teaching under the English program. And
Don,
I am
can you
teaching,
make it bigger? It's kind of
yeah, sure.
small to see.
And I'm teaching science on that school. I hope that everyone can see my screen right now. Let me make it. There you go. So I hope that it's clear to everybody. So the title that I have here, I'm handling core science for grade 9, or we call it M3. The learning area that I will be presenting to you is in biology. So I know that some of you here are biology majors, so maybe you can help me make this lesson plan a better one. As I said a while ago, this one is open for updates. This has been taught for semester 1, and the unit number is 3. Unit title is Environment and Natural Resources. And the number of hours is, for my teaching subject, for core science, I teach 3 days. So that's 3 times a week. And that means 1 hour for lecture and 2 hours lab. And this lesson plan is good for 2 weeks. So we have 6 hours. And we start with our lesson plan. Actually, we don't, in our school, we don't have a definite format, just like what we do before in DepEd, that we have a definite format, we call it DLL. In our school, we are advised to have our own format. So for science, there are 2 science teachers, me as the core science, and the other one is a supplementary teacher. So we decided to have this format. So I have here the learning standards. These learning standards are those given by the basic education curriculum for science. And these are the basic, the standards that we have. Sorry, the formatting of the lesson plan has been changed because of the Google Docs, but I already posted the link of the Microsoft version in your Google Classroom, in our Google Classroom. So you can go ahead and download that for your own reference. So these are the learning standards that we have. That's the first one. And we have the second part of our lesson plan, which is on the learning outcomes. So we do not use objectives anymore. We say expected learning outcomes or indicators. And for this one, it's similar to our objectives. However, this one needs to be, if you could notice with the objectives that I have, in order for us to be able to have this corrected, it should be like the knowledge, the psychomotor, and the affective domain, right? So we teachers should be modeling those 3 types of domains in order for us to have it easier to incorporate steps, because it has knowledge for cognitive, it has the skill for psychomotor, and it has the values for the affective domain. So it's easier if you could identify which one is the cognitive domain, which one is the psychomotor domain, and which one is the affective domain. So you can try, maybe you can label out. For this lesson plan, I will be making some improvement to this. So I will be arranging my lesson outcomes into cognitive, psychomotor, and affective, so that it would be very easy to also design what are the activities that you will be doing in your teaching procedure, and what are those assessment tools that you will be using in line with your objectives. Because as we know, one of the challenges that we teachers are actually facing in terms of lesson planning is how do we measure the values or the affective domain objectives. That's one of the challenges that we always face. And what are those tools, and what are those assessment ways that we could use to measure successfully affective domain? Another thing is sometimes we are doing some overlapping of our verbs, or the words, the vocabulary that we use for knowledge, for psychomotor, and for the affective. So you might also have to use the right vocabulary for your cognitive objectives, your psychomotor objectives, and your affective objectives. So what I'm labeling here, the K, the S, and the V, these are the main components that are actually integrated in our STEP concept. So the knowledge, the skills, and the values. This lesson plan is a STEP rich as what we had trained for during the time that we are formulating our lesson plans. And these are the teaching procedures in science. I'm pretty sure that for teachers, we know that we have different ways on how to deliver our teaching procedure in science. We can use the 5 A's or the 4 A's or the 5 E's. In my teaching procedure here in our school, we decided to use the 5 E's. So it starts with engage. This is similar to the motivation. Maybe our other countries might have a different name to show motivation or the engage part. So I'm not expert with other subject area, but one thing that is general is motivation. So it's similar to the engage part. The second part that we have for the process is explore. So students are going to explore either giving them these links, because we know for sure that our students are equipped and adept in 21st century skills like technology. So they know how to go to this link, and this will provide them a different perspective and a different environment to learn the lesson that you might be talking. And also, one of the activities here under Explore is allowing my students to go out of the classroom to, to get into the community, to emerge into community, to see and map what are those available natural resources in their area, and also what are those things that are available in our school, so outside the classroom works, especially for the lab session. One thing here that I actually included in my lesson plan is how they should know the different colors of the soil in their environment. So the soil color and its indicator and the meaning. And so as providing them a website about soil and how to know those things. Also, one of the things that I also provided in my lesson plan is allowing the students to explore what are those dates and important environmental dates that they should know and compare it to their country, because just like here, United Nations or worldwide, we celebrate Environment Day on the 5th of June, but in Thailand, it's on a different month and date. So we have December 4th annually. So it's one way to know or compare, for the students to compare and know how those important dates are celebrated, especially for this type of lesson that I'm presenting. And the third E that I included in my lesson plan is explain. For the explain part, this is actually where the discussion normally lies. So all the concept of the lessons are basically included on this part of your lesson. So again, this lesson plan is it's like a unit plan. So I'm providing the unit plan for the entire unit 3. So again, I also provided some important website available in Thailand, just like the forest information coming from the website of Royal Forest Department. So students would be able to know the natural resources, like the forest resources and the forest ecosystem. And also, what are those practices that are actually done? Say, for example, the photosynthesis, the necessary abiotic and biotic factors that might be included, the ecosystem itself, the utilization of agricultural practices, how it is being related to the daily life, the economic side of the country as well. even the medicine, the food, and the clothing. So all of those things are included on the explanation or the letter number 3E. Another website also that I provided to them or link is on the Wild Animal Reservation and Protection. So somehow this website will help our student to develop the value of conservation and preservation of our wild animals and resources, the fauna and the fauna of our ecosystem. And the fourth one is on expand. So if you have additional activities that you want our students to do, you can go ahead and do that. Say, for example, if you have some experiments that you will be performing in the lab, then I will, in my case, I provide one experiment or two experiments for the units so that they would be able to also have the skill in developing experimental setups in the lab with this topic. And the last E is to evaluate. So students must be able to know the importance of and the uses of the environment and natural resources in the locality. You can apply the tools that we are introducing to you, like Padlet. You can also apply MindMister, or you can have your mind map tools and applications available online. If it's not available, then you can ask the students to do their own mind maps. Be creative. They could do some, a big sheet of paper, and then they could do mind mapping there with pictures maybe, or a drawing, a poster. So it's up to you how you're going to deal with the mind mapping, if that is one of your tools that you will use to evaluate the students, knowing what are those natural resources or environmental resources available in their locality. So these are the things that could be suggested in my lesson plan. Another one is, one of the area or level of affective domain is characterization. That's the highest area in affective domain. So you can ask them to do role playing or characterizing environmental problems like environmental pollution. This will allow our students to be able to have a hands-on research and ways on how to solve those problems and how to deliver information to the community. Or one way is maximizing their skills in computer skills, like creating the leaflets or information dissemination for leaflets about environmental pollution. Or you can ask them to actually join in a research environment in our country or maybe outside our country, like say, for example, Southeast Asian countries. There might be organizations that are very much focused on biodiversity, environmental awareness, and things like that. So you can go ahead and look for those things. Now for the assessment, I had included here one assessment type that the teacher, if you have knowledge on how to convert those, say for example, garbages or waste in your school into better designs or products that could be used for your students to sell or increase their income, you can go ahead and do that. So it's also a career path development vis-a-vis utilizing the concept of SEP, the philosophy of sufficiency economy. So that is all for my lesson plan, and I hope that you learned something, and I hope that you have some updates or comments, and I'm very, very happy to hear that from you. Thank you.
Don, thank you so much for your wonderful presentation on lesson plan. Can we take a look at the seasonal food wheels? I think at least the Philippines and Thailand already done. And at the same time, Don can take some questions from the floor. Thank you. Yes, Marites.
Hello, good
Yes, go ahead.
hello, good afternoon. I am Mr. Crisper de los Santos. I'm actually using the device of my colleague here, Mamarita Sinampan, since my device isn't working. Sir, I have just question regarding the submission of the lesson plan.
Oh, yeah,
We've been
sure.
very confused. You lesson plan where there is now an integration of the SAP. So are we supposed to modify the lesson plan that we have submitted?
Oh, for the lesson plan, not yet. Tomorrow we will have that modifying. But for now, you have to submit the existing lesson plans that you had been using on your teaching and learning activities in the classroom. So you don't need to worry modifying yet your lesson plan, because tomorrow we will do that on our training workshop, which I'm very excited that it's going to be happening tomorrow.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Just one more, sir. I think the storage is now full for the submission of lesson plan. That's why we cannot submit our lesson plans.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I just checked it a while ago. There's still available 11 gigabytes, but would that be okay? Are you already, you can submit it to my email, and maybe I could definitely put that into the lesson plan. Just label your file so that I would put it in the lesson plan folder properly. So my email, I will be typing my email in the chat box. So I will put it into the folder or the Google Drive. Thank you so much. You're welcome. So that is my email there. I hope that everyone able to get it.
I would like to thank the Philippines teacher that providing beautiful seasonal food view. Next slide, please, and you can see the result from Thailand.
John, can I talk to John?
Oh yes, Ajahn.
If anybody has problem with the storage, right? Can you
Yes.
hear? The solution, the quick solution might be applying for the new Google account. Then you will
Okay.
have 16 gig of memory.
Okay, Ajahn.
And you can add that email to Google Classroom
Definitely.
as well. Yeah.
Okay. We'll do it right after this.
Yeah. You just ask
Session.
if anybody have problem with the storage.
Okay. Yes, Ajahn. Thank you so much, Ajahn Chris. Dr. Chris is on the line a while ago. Ajahn Lee. Sorry.
This morning also there's a from Brunei and from Laos also finished the seasonal food view. I would like to give a kudos to them that they are so great. And also I would like to share, maybe Don can share the Padlet from Ajahn Jin's activity. I think all the school also complete the Padlet. Thank you so much for being such a wonderful participant, so active and IT equipped. I'm so impressed and looking forward to see you all tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you so much to our participants this afternoon. You are doing a really great job. Awesome to everyone. And we are looking forward for you tomorrow. We will be having a workshop training on making your lesson plan be a set rich and could be used on the research for this pilot study. And again, thank you for your cooperation. You are such a wonderful participants for this training. Have a wonderful day and see you tomorrow. Goodbye.
Bye. ขอบคุณครับ
Thank you so
Bye.
much.
Hello, bye bye. See you
Maraming
tomorrow.
salamat, Sir John.
Thank you. You're